Okay, everybody, I promised this. This is my first mini album. It's for my mom's boyfriend, George, who was, this project was requested, let me say, for my mom, because he has this thing with chickens since they moved out to the country. And he had to have a John Deere, and he's a railroad appraiser. So it's all in here, and these are kind of jokes because he's very quirky, and I'll explain as I go why. But here's the outside of it. They have a little barn that's painted red. So here's a little jingle chickens. See all the little fibers. Here's the barn, not exactly the same, but we're going to start here. And I put this on temporarily. But you open up the barn doors and not kick out the hay. But here's a place for journaling with 2 chickens. Here's a chicken. You slide this out and there's a little mouse hiding back here. But there's a chicken, there's a place for a little picture. And I'm just going to stick these aside as we go. From the side, if you pull this way, you pull out another little journaling tag on the back. And it has a chicken there. So that's a little place to put some more pictures. And this is a paper bag album. That's also another kind of joke with the guy. But if you open up the first page, you've got photo tags. You flip this off and you can pull from back here, and you have a place for a photo here. And in addition, you got these chickens here. Yeah, there's a lot of chickens, trust me. And then there's another chicken here on the flap. If you pull this one behind the lace, you of course have a place to put another picture here. Here's a little journal tag. It says peep peep peep. And then on the back side there's a place. This is all movable. This actually will come out. You'll see where I have little pieces of paper will come out. It's a way for my mom to measure and crop the pictures to size. Then you open it up, and I did my first magic chicken card. And there's a chicken, and you open up the chicken. Oh, you gotta hold this real tight. I'll show you in a second. It says, "I'm cocky, cuz," and there's a story they can put on this. So let me pull my magic chicken. And there it is, magic chicken. And I'm gonna stick that aside. See, there's little pockets. And then there's gonna be more that goes in here. Now here's the second flap. And a chicken, and behind the fence is a place to put a picture. And then here's Misty. This is the cat I used to have that my mom has. She's a tortoise calico, but she's the queen. And some more little chickens. And the sun acts as a photo corner. But here's some hay, and this hay is actually from their backyard. I had my mom send me some stuff, and it says "What the Peep," for them to be able to put a picture in the front here by the barn, and then be able to put a story back here. And then it back here has a tractor. Now his tractor, of course, is green. But here's another little photo journal card. There's actually a couple of them here, and I'll show you. And they had a dog that was put down last year, and it looked similar to this. Her name was Maxie. And it says, "Pussy cat, where have you been?" And it's got the photo corners for them to put photos. And the little furry things. And there's a chicken up in here. See? A little charm. And then this pops out for them to cut and measure a picture. And then here, now you won't see all of these now, but I'll have more of these, just but with CDs in it. And we're doing some movies that... they're funny. We're doing Chicken Little, Chicken Run, The Little Train That Could, Throw Mama from the Train, a couple other movies to go with the whole concept. And then these little pieces of paper come out so that they can cut pictures to size. And there's more chickens, and there's more chickens. And if you flip the page, you go to the part where he's a railroad appraiser. But it's got his name on it with chicken numbers. But there's another chicken, and there's a raccoon, and there's his John Deere, and there's a fox. and then 3 more little chickens, but if you see that this comes from behind it. But it's another place, and it's got a riddle on it. It says, riddle me this. You're waiting for a train that will take you far away. You know where you hope this train will take you, but you don't know for sure, but it doesn't matter. How can it not matter to you and where the train will take you? And if you take to the other photo card, and there's a place to put a photo here, and on the back it says, riddle answer is because you'll be together. Another little chicken. And then everything, of course, and there's places back here for them to put pictures as well as with that. And then I have little paper clips all over the place to hold. Now, my mom had requested that I do some pieces that would be able to hold family photos. Now, this is just a piece of paper in here. As you can see, it actually comes up so that she can measure where the pictures will actually go, and then she can trim it down and put it back. But I'm not counting the chickens on this. But I put little eyelets on this side so that you can see it, and then the chain I did with fiber. And here's a key for the key card, and you flip it over, and it's the journaling section. And another chicken, and that's a caboose. Here's an animal card, like a circus car, like this one, and it's got the eyelets on both ends and up here for decoration. And then, of course, this little piece of paper will come out, and you'll actually see the black behind it. But I put little instructions that my mom will pull this out and be able to cut a picture to fit. And then the opposite of this side, and of course it's got a key for the car, a little charm. And if you flip over, we go to the next set of pages. Now, I'm not completely finished, and I'll explain as I go, but here's some pictures with some eyelets, or some flowers, and then there's a place for a picture down here, but it's the eggs. It answers the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And of course the 2 eggs, and the chicken comes later. But here's a little photo journaling card, and this is one of my favorites. This is what they call a spinner card. Give me a second because it likes to stick. It's sticking. But if you look at it, it says don't count your chickens before they hatch. And if you look, there's a bunch of eggs, and it's laying on top of bad egg. That's gotten kind of rotten. But there's a little chicken in the middle, and it says, because you might yolk up. And then on the back it says, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And then there's some more little chickens. So there's that. And then, of course, here's our egg with the chicken that's still inside. It's not popped out of its eggshell yet, but if you look at it, I put some glossy accents on it to be more of the yolk look. And then I cut the flaps so that you can put pieces in, and I made them a bookmark of an egg that has yet to develop. This says sunny side up, and it says bookmark me. And this says cluck, 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 balk, balk, balk. Just checking in on you. But he likes to read books, so I had to do a little bookmark. I'm sorry. Okay, now the other flap I haven't quite got to. And this is where I said that I'm not quite done. I have to finish this, but I have to add in a hawk that's been eating the chickens, and a coyote that's been eating the chickens, like the fox. And I have to add a deer in because they get deer in the backyard. But I love this. I actually found this cartoon because his name's George, my mom's boyfriend. But there's the photo corners. It says, let's face it, George, we're not spraying chickens anymore. So it was just perfect. Now, if you open up the page, this was holding one end. Now, there's a story behind what I'm about to show you. My mom's boyfriend loves his tractor, but he doesn't really know how to run it all the time. And my mom had asked me to do something with him running the tractor up on the back porch, and it was by accident. So I actually drew this with watercolor pencils and then went over it with the marker, or with the water. But it's almost the exact scenery of her back porch. But I had to put where the tractor's coming up on the porch because he got into a pickle, I guess. And there's a squirrel. But the chicken house is like actually up over here, and they actually come down and sit up and drink the coffee off the counter and the tables. But there's a little place in the back and some John Deere brads. It says, ha ha ha, remember when you, and a story to never forget. So they're going to be writing the story in. And this is just the scenery. There is no photo for this one. But I drew that. Yes, I drew that. On the inside, there's some more picture cards. And you'll see as we go, this one goes with this one. And this is with mulberry paper and my little hen. But they have a place to put some pictures here. And then little tabs to hold it down with. And over the hill, 2 more chickens. Goes with the whole scenery there. This one I'm going to show you as I turn the page here to the next page. Ooh. Let me make sure I get it up here. And this one's funny because I had told my mom's boyfriend that I needed certain things. And I didn't tell him why. But you'll see as I go through this. Here is a card, a photo card. And you can see the instructions used to cut the fit picture and then discard this piece of paper. But on the other side, it's got a horse because I always get horse manure. And had to do that. It's funny. But on this side are a couple more chickens. And said, how'd that go? Old George Warner had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had some chickens, E-I-E-I-O, with a cluck cluck there. You guys get the point. Anyway, but I put that in there. It's funny. I mean, he really does have this thing with his chickens. So I'd asked him to send me some feathers. So this is where this next 2 pages come in. So I have some feathers on here. Yeah, it's cute. And I actually had my mom send me some of the chicken wire. And I was trying to make sure that I was able to put this in here. And I came up with this concept. Now there's a feather in here, but you can put a picture behind it. It's a pretty feather. It's actually from one of his chickens. But this is to use for both sides, and it's burgundy. But this will fit both sides, so they'll use this to cut and measure pictures with. But there's a feather underneath that one too. But here's his hen and his rooster. And then I put some of the feathers in here. Some of the recipe cards that you're about to see. Now, some of you were nice enough to send me some recipes. And here you get to see where the recipes are. Here is his recipe. I did find out because I used to tease him about his chickens, about naming his chickens. He's like, oh, no, you don't name chickens if you're going to eat them. But I told him, I said, well, that's easy. You just do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Lo and behold, whether he said what he said or not, he did name his chickens, but they're all Maggie. So for him, cock-a-doodle-doo, yummy. And you'll see here where it says Maggie at morning, Maggie at lunch, and Maggie at dinner. So in the morning we have some recipes: root beer barbecue chicken, the butter chicken, the Mama's KFC chicken, Naked Poetry Man's lemon chicken, and then gourmet chicken sandwich. And there are a dozen of them, and there's more in here. About a dozen for a dozen eggs, or a dozen chickens, either way, which came first. So we move on. Again, I still have those things to put in. We move on to the next page, but I'm going to show you this first. You'll see why I did this. This is a press pass to get on a train, and I put GW, which is his initials, and then unlimited access for the press. But obviously you take this out and you put the picture in, and then you set it down as soon as she puts a picture to it, and then puts a little tape on the other side and cut this piece off. But on this side it says always good for a good ride. I know, I had to. I was coming up with some funny stuff. So I hope it doesn't look so bad. This is my first project, and again, it's got a key for the all access. But I'd gotten some new cartridges, and I've used several cartridges, and if you guys want, I'll list them afterwards. But this one's from the Superman cartridge. It says more powerful than a locomotive, and I cut the S out and put GW, which is his initials. But if you see here behind the train itself, not in the paper bag, behind the train, is another photo tag. That, of course, the black paper is to cut and measure a picture and then discard this afterwards. But choo-choo instead of choo-choo. But this is a peacock, and you'll see one over here as well. He had requested that I bring him some peacocks for Christmas this year, and I mentioned that to my mother. And my mother told me if I brought him peacocks, she would kill me. So I did give him the 2 peacocks he wanted. He got his male and he got his female. or either or, I don't care. But he's got a story to put on that side, and then for his picture here. This one, and here's interesting, this was an extra piece that I cut out, and what she does, what my mom will do is either put a picture here or a picture here and pull it through and then cut off the excess pieces. But this is done with brads and eyelets, and there's a chicken on that one. It just has a ticket on the other side of it, extra ticket I had. But behind the peacock, I use the peacock as a photo card corner holder, and for the train. But this one comes out, and of course this little piece of paper, it's the same color, so you can't really tell, but you take this piece of paper out and you cut the measure of the picture. And then there's another chicken. And then on this side it says something to crow about for his rooster. Just something cute that goes in there. So that's that. And this one, the pockets are at the top. And here is the last back page. This is flip. And here's a card that comes out. Let me pull the card out before we go on. My brother took George fishing, so she asked me to put a train story or a fishing story in. And this is, of course, to use to fit the picture in here. And then some fibers. And then I swear it was for his, of course, fishing story, how big it was. So on this flap, he has an old pickup truck that he uses to go get stuff for their big piece of property. It's pretty big. I mean, they got chickens on it. He wants more animals, and my mom said, hell no. But it's a little pickup for you. And here's his truck. But this slides out, and you got some trees here, and then here's a boat. And here's a chicken up on his truck. And then on the side, of course, this is just a photo card. You take the extra pieces out and you measure your pictures, and then you discard them. But it goes behind here. So, and then I laugh because George looks like this sometimes when he's tired and cranky. So I printed that out, and of course there's cranky chicken, yeah. So there's a little chicken here, but they can put a bigger picture in here. But literally, it does look like him when he's cried and cranky. So here. Now this was scraps that my mom sent me. Okay, let me show you this first. Oh, this came out. I don't know where I must have lost it. I had a special paper clip that went in there. But this is to help hold it in. What I did is she sent me some extra material, and I went looking for something that I had the closest tires that I could, but the tires actually move. I put them in with brads, so they can cut a picture and put behind here, and some Rifica or whatever my mom called this. And then Dear John. Yeah, I know, corny, but let me tell you something. If you knew this man, you know he's corny. And he can be dirty-minded, so that's the reason why there's certain things in here the certain way and written certain ways. But their Dear John story to put in here. Now, I don't know where that paper clip went, but I have it. But here's the back. And this took me a while to figure out, but this is my first. Of course, it needs to be crumpled back up. This is an actual paper bag flower. It's gotten a little flat. But I put a little chain in here. Here's a John Deere Brad. And then his initials, GW. And then, but there's a place for them to put a bigger picture on the back. But now this is empty compared to what it was at the beginning, if you guys saw that. And then this is all of that. Plus, we're putting some CDs in that will be in cards like this. And I will have special insides with it that will explain all of, we'll have his movies in it. But right now, with nothing in it, is about 2.5 inches. With all of this in it is 4 inches. And then the movies, I'm sure we'll put about 1/2 inch or so in. But this is his special Christmas present for Christmas. And I'm not quite done with it, but I did promise you guys that I would show you. So, and oh look, there's another chicken. And always hiding things, if I make a mistake. But it was hiding a hole for the flower. But if you have any questions, then let me email me, text me, message me, whatever. And I'll tell you what's in it or what I've used. But this is my first mini album, and it was requested from my mom for her boyfriend. And he will get to see this video after he gets it, because I'm sure he's not going to understand it, nor know where everything's at when it's done. But let me know what you guys think on my very first mini album, especially made for him. And I know it's corny, it's not necessarily matchy-matchy, but it's the way he is. And I did everything to match his personalities and the stories that I was told and requested to do. So, yeah, he's got some funny stories. And this is kind of a joke gag and something he'll like. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.